Hi guys, friendly neighborhood fox here. So it's come to that time again where I need to trim my hair. Got like an inch of split ends ish, give or take a little bit. So when you go to find your split ends, you're gonna want to comb. First thing you're gonna want to do. And I'm gonna show you how I, as a curly haired girl, trim my hair to where my split ends are off, but I keep my length. So, the way you're going to find your split ends is you're going to take a little section, just a little bit, and you're going to smooth it out. And this isn't perfect because my hair is kind of wonky today, but so all the hair that is nice and even and in there, and then as you pull to the end, you'll notice it starts going all like crazy and stuff. That's the start of your split ends. So mine would be like about right here is where mine are at, and that's about an inch. Pretty decent amount. But every hairstylist I go to here in my town can't seem to trim hair without cutting like 17 inches off it. And I don't want to deal with a pixie cut again because that would just be ridiculous. So the way I do it is I split my hair into two pigtails, and you're gonna brush this out really good. I'm talking really good because you don't want any stragglers. And this actually ensures that your back isn't gonna do that V thing that your hair normally does. When you just, put it in a ponytail and then bring it to the end and chop that off. Because that's just ridiculous. If you are ever doing that, when you have your scissors, cut at a diagonal up, because what your hair is going to do in the back is it's going to go down. So if you cut in a diagonal on the front side, what's actually going to end up happening, and you always want to cut it to where your angle in your front is going to be lower than your back, because what that's going to do is that's going to even you out a lot, because you won't get that weird V in the back of your hair. So you want to make your part as straight as you can, simply because that's just the way to do it. And I'm not really gonna worry about these pieces today because that has been trimmed recently, so I have no need to trim it again. But you're gonna put your hair in a pigtail plate braid, and that's just a basic braid. And I always make sure that all the knots are out at the very top. That way, like I said, you don't end up with any kind of wonky pieces. So you split your hair into 3, and then it's just, you want to make sure that your spots, or your tendrils, as I call them, are as even as you can get them in size. Which, if you do this a lot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're just gonna braid your hair like normal. Drew? You don't need to be in there. Go. Yeah, and you're just gonna do that the entire length until you get to your splits, which mine, like I said, are about to here. So I'm actually gonna end up cutting a decent chunk off, because that's just how I roll. Because I go forever without trimming my hair, which you're not supposed to do. Get your hair trimmed. It falls better that way. Because this is gonna be shorter than I thought, which is okay. Like it'll grow back, but it's just gonna be a lot shorter. So about right here is where my splits start. Okay, and so the only reason I'm braiding it to where I can't braid it anymore is because hair ties suck. They never seem to go where I want them to. Alright, so about right there is where I'm gonna section that off, or tie it off rather. Okay, so I have my hair in the braid. As you can see, it's nice and tight. I love braids like this because they're just so much easier to work with. And I actually have smaller hair ties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one more hair tie over here a little bit further up than the black one, or whatever you use to tie your braid off with. Because what that's gonna do is it's not gonna make your hair just poof out of the braid, even though mine won't, because curlies, like curls, girls with curls, you get it. Like our hair just kind of stays in braids. It happens. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do the same exact thing to the other side. And my part is pretty straight, like really straight. Put this back really quick. Yeah. My purple is fading. I need to think about doing something about that one point or another. Yeah, and this was just a neat little hair hack I found because I was tired of going and getting my hair butchered. So I just decided to start doing it at home. Well, with my hair being so thick and so long, it usually takes a good 3 hours for me to for me to actually go through and trim and layer my hair, which I just was ridiculous. So once it got to a certain length, I was just tired of dealing with that, more or less. So I was just like, well, how can I kind of make this to where it's gonna be easier on me and my shoulders? I was like, well, hey, let's see if putting my hair in a couple in pigtail braids and then um, trimming the ends where it's split. Let's just see if that works. And it just kind of ended up working. I doubt it, but if Brad Mondo wants to try on one of his mannequins and like try and perfect it, or the hair Buddha, then I guess I can't be too awful mad because they're like using my technique. So these are pretty even on my chest. So I use my bra to go by if they're even. And so where my bra cup starts and where the hair tie is should match up on the bottom on both sides, which it does. So that's actually how I judge if they're even or not, is I go by my bra strap because it generally works out that way. And just like I did before, I'm going to put this hair tie up here. So that way, like I said, the hair doesn't just sploosh out. Which, again, it won't because curly hair. Yeah. Yeah. And I actually need to fix this now because I screwed it up. So the main reason I think this works is because when you're putting your hair in the braids, you're grabbing pieces from the front, the middle, and the back. So what you're essentially doing is you're just weaving those together, so that way your hair comes out nice and straight instead of all lopsided and crazy. And let me show you what I did here. I just take a shopping bag to catch all the loose hair, and this is my most effective way to do it here at home without causing too much of a mess, honestly. All right, and so you're just gonna lay that in there into your sink. And then, okay, time for snips. Okay, so the scissors are important. Don't negate the scissors, because what's going to end up happening if you use kitchen shears, they're not sharp, like, at all. Like, your scissors should be sharp enough to cut you, honestly. Like, that scar I got because of a pair of hair cutting scissors. Not because of kitchen shears, nothing else. Just hair cutting scissors. So, use hair cutting scissors. Don't use craft scissors. All they do is they help create more split ends. So, if you're cutting off your split ends, you don't want to cause more split ends. That's all I'm saying. So, invest in a pair of these. They're like $5 at Walmart. You can find them at dollar stores, Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. Just pick a pair up. Even if they're just like $1 cheapies, they're still gonna do what you need them to do the way you need them to do it. Honestly, these it's going to be really important in which scissors you use to trim your hair, because you don't want split ends after you cut off your split ends. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so that being said, what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab your comb. Doesn't matter what kind, just a comb, honestly, and you're just gonna kind of fan this out. Yeah, and you can always tell where your split, if it is your split ends, because it'll be kind of hard to pass the comb through, because all those split ends are finding each other and they're congregating, and what's happening is they're getting all kind of mixed and mashed in together. So now that that's done, you're going to want to cut below your hair tie, not above it, not at the end of this one, at the end of this one. The bottom of your bottom hair tie is where you want to cut, because that's where your line is. All right. And if you have a lot in there, you can kind of section it out to where you're taking two smaller sections. That's the first snip. Took a lot more than I thought. Second snip. That's a good chunk, actually. About 1.5 inches. Not bad, not bad. So I'm just going in here and I'm gonna trim off the rest. Oh my goodness. Alright, just like that. Alright, that's side one done. So when you pull it out of your bottom ponytail, it's gonna be all uniform. Or at least it should be. That side is not. And then you can kinda trim up as you need. Oh my goodness. Hard doing it in a mirror. I'm just gonna continue doing that. Bring your fingers back to where your line is shortest, and then you trim that. You always cut under your fingers, don't cut over your fingers, because that's how we end up with scars. That's how I ended up with the scar on my middle finger anyway. All right, so that's nice and even. Nice and even. All right, so on to the next one. And as we did before, you're going to want to take your comb and there you go. Ooh, all right. And you can measure it against the hair that you took off the other side if you really want to, just to make sure that you got it like even and straight and stuff. You don't have to. You might for the first couple times, only to make sure that like the way you're doing it is right. All right, and this side actually stayed together quite well. You trim right there. And y'all, just be gentle on your hair. I understand, like, you get bored, you know, with your current look. You want something different. You want to, like, bleach or dye your hair, give yourself bangs, because it's cute and it'd be the cool thing to do. Just think before you do it. And, like, do your research. Because bleaching your own hair is way harder than, say, bleaching your friend's hair. Or, like, dyeing your own hair. Because bleach is vastly different. Alright, last snip. Alright, so those, both sides are even, as you can see, and like I said, because I use my bra straps, both pieces are falling to the very start of where the cup is. So like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this little piece right here where your elastic ends and your cup starts. So that piece right there, where it kind of sticks out. So where your bra strap ends is pretty much where I cut, or I trimmed my hair rather. Then this is the moment of truth. Brush my hair out really quick. And this is it. So it's actually a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Holy crap. That is okay though, because it all seems very even. Doesn't seem like I missed any spots, because that's the way I do it. And in the back, like, it's all nice and straight, beautiful, and there you have it. So yeah, if you want to keep your length, or keep some of it, and you don't want to go to a salon and see, and that's only okay. So don't get freaked out if it doesn't look even at first. However, like, I will tell you that some of my hair it just doesn't cooperate. Like, this is curlier than this, and yeah, so that's why it looks crazy right now. But it is all the same length. And so there you have it.